Hi, folks. I'd like to talk a bit about the context of technology entrepreneurship. And specifically, what I'd like to talk about is that the examples we have are mostly based out of United States, the Silicon Valley, and elsewhere. And they cannot really be, copy pasted everywhere in the world. Some of those lessons from those examples are indeed universal. They are as relevant in San Jose as they are in Islamabad, New Delhi, Nigeria, or wherever the hell. But there are many details of many lessons that are relevant only in the context, in that specific context that happens to be the United States of America, right? And what really is that context, and we need to be aware of it. We need to be really aware of the context when we are analyzing the lessons so as to be better entrepreneurs ourselves, no matter where we happen to be in the world, right? The reason for that is that just blindly copy pasting examples and lessons will not really work. It won't work because there is a context in United States that does not exist elsewhere, and we will have to tailor the lessons, the approaches that we acquired from the lessons of United States based technology entrepreneurs, right? When before applying them to our own countries, our own target market segment, our own entire ecosystem of entrepreneurship, which also includes investors, risk tolerance, and many things. We'll talk about that. So, what really is that context? The context is that the United States is a superpower. It can have its way, right? It can really have its way, and it does have its way internationally. The second context is that the United States is a massive economy. There is ample money lying around. You can seek investors. You can Angel investment is pretty easy. It's usually doable elsewhere too, but not the kind of venture capital investment that is available in United States. No, that's not easily available anywhere in the world. And it's not just money that they bring on the table. It's the network. It's the cumulative experience of the VC team, which in turn acts as a catalyst to the success of a technology entrepreneur and his or her idea. And the third is the presence of um, massive knowledge factories, the universities, right? And the universities, for example, in the Silicon Valley, you have Stanford, um, and not very far away from there, you have the University of Southern California, and Caltech is there. United States is full of very, very good universities with a research focus, with an industrial collaborative focus. They even teach entrepreneurship. Many of these big technology companies are founded from inside the university campuses. I think Sun, the great Sun, was Stanford University Network. That's what Sun stands for. Yahoo, I believe, is also an example that came from Stanford. Google, of course, is. Um, so that is an important context. We must never lose sight of that. When all of that is done, then there's another thing, right? There is another aspect, and that is also very important. It's a cultural aspect, and that cultural aspect is that the society at large does not look down upon failed entrepreneurs. They don't. Failed entrepreneurs are not a taboo in United States, As long as you have your reasons, as long you tried your best and learned your lessons, nobody gives a damn. You could very well be a failed entrepreneur, and you'll be applying for a great job, director or something, and nobody cares. The taboo of failure is just not there more often than not, and that is very much there in most places of the world. Why I have mentioned this, because it is important. You cannot really build an ecosystem unless you are not afraid of failure, unless the society also is not afraid of failure. It motivates people to keep going, to try new things, to innovate, right? Many of them will fail, but yeah, some will succeed. That's the way it happens. So I think, and these were the main things. And in addition to that, there is another aspect which I think most people know, but I'd mention it nevertheless, and that is the target market. If you are whatever a technology entrepreneur is trying to do, it's a product or service or whatever. If the target market segment exists in the United States, then you need to be, um, cognizant of it. You need to know everything you can about that target market segment. If it happens to be elsewhere in any other country, then too you need to be cognizant of it. This aspect I think most people do well. The earlier things are not really, in my experience, people just try to copy paste the United States technology entrepreneur success story, and they expect great things will happen automatically. No, it does not happen that way. You have to be able to carefully learn the right lessons. You have to be able to see clearly the impact of the United States context on all the dimensions, pick wisely, tailor your approach, use it accordingly. So here's a big thumbs up to all technology entrepreneurs.